Thank God I just started, which means we can delete all this and you can just film like regular.
What's up and good morning, guys? Is that how you did it?
Absolutely not. It was more like, what up? I'm tired. I'm over this. Let's go. That's it. That's all you get. There you go, dog. That's it right there.
What, that was it?
You got that. Let's start. There you go. What up, guys? It's me, your boy Deddy. We're back. Truck is stripped. We're about to do some stuff in the back, and yeah, that's it. Let's go.
All right, I gotta go.
Oh,
bye.
Oh, all right. All right. Well, sorry about that little distraction. I've got our e-brake cables off already. The drive shaft has been dropped. I went ahead and pinched off the brake line, and then took off this little connector union, whatever you want to call that, right there. Whew. And then, yeah, basically the only thing holding this rear end in right now is the leafs, shocks, and that's it. So let's go ahead and get those off. Bound up a little bit. That's one. All right, what are the chances? What are the chances? Hell no. All right. Oh, so we'll lower it down a little bit. Now I'd be lying if I didn't say I was a little worried. I've got the truck like as far back in the lift as I can to help support the front of the truck. A little worried this when I drop this rear end, it might be a little too light in the rear, so we're gonna do this slowly and cautiously because I've had one vehicle nosedive off this lift already. I'm not trying to do that again. Alrighty then, I do believe she is free. Free at last. Alright. Well, now there ain't no going back. Oh, the camera. Alright, next on the chopping block is the leaves. Got to get them bad boys out of her. And once we do, I believe that's all we need to strip for right now, where we can actually start mocking things up and seeing if this stuff's even gonna work. You gotta have faith. You know, sometimes you just gotta full on send it and hope for the best and see where you end up on the end. You spin me right round, baby, right round. Come on. Yeah. Let's trick it, trick it. Yes, I gotta pull the tank. Why would it ever be easy? Got a little trick for that. There really ain't no going back now. All right, so with this guy right here, unfortunately, if you push it all the way in to try to get the bolt out, it contacts the tank before anything. So what we're gonna do is, we're gonna push it all the way back out. I'm just gonna take the bandsaw, cut that bad boy off, and that should give me enough room to get the bolt out. It's just too long where it's at, and I don't really need this hardware anymore. Got her. Almost took me with it, but you know, got it done. Whew. All right, well, next thing on our list is we got a lot of brackets and stuff on this axle that we no longer need, and we got to get rid of. So let's strip it. Got some brake lines off. So anytime I've ever stripped an axle, I've always just went ahead and used a grinder and a cutoff wheel. I mean, I could use the plasma. I'm gonna play it by ear. I could use the plasma and kind of just, you know, cut off what I can and then, you know, grind down the rest. I feel like that would end with a cleaner looking axle, but I'm honestly just gonna go with what I know and take my time and go nice and slow. Yeah, luckily these axle tubes are very, very thick to the point where if I do kind of cut a little too deep, I can always just weld it up and smooth it back out. I'm probably not far deep enough yet, but I'd rather be short and not cut through the axle tube than go way too deep every time and then have a bunch of welding to do. What is shit? I'm all that is man. Whew. That was horrible. I hated that. Hated every second of it. Yeah. That sucked. I think I'm just gonna be cutting as much out of it as I can. Going from there. Yeah, that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna change this up. We'll change it up. Well, I'm gonna keep it very real with you. I haven't been that blatantly wrong in a long time. The plasma cutter is the way to go. Whew, forget all that. Plasma cutter is the way to go. Check this out. Check this out. Check this out. Where are my glasses? Where are my glasses? Yeah, that's way better, if I'm being honest with you. We're done. I'm tired. I don't even know what time it is. I should have probably been wearing ear pro because I've got a buzzing on top of my regular tinnitus. I've got to take a DA and go through all my grits and get this as smooth as possible. There are a few spots where I need to weld up and bake pretty again, but we'll get to that. I'm going home and I'm going to go to bed. Mr. Dmaxryno will be here tomorrow, apparently at 8. I think he'll actually be here at 8. He's been doing pretty good. But yeah, man, this stuff's tough, man. It's what a lot of people don't show. This axle alone's gonna have, 20 something hours into it, and that's being generous. We'll catch you back tomorrow. Peace. Oh. And just like that, we're back. Good morning, everybody. Never know what to say on these things, but we're back. It's next morning. Ryan's got a little bit of time to get here. It's all good. I got here a little early. So I'm gonna utilize this time to do some more stuff that nobody really wants to watch. And I'm gonna go ahead and start DAing these axle tubes and getting them all nice and smooth and everything, because it looks smooth right now, but throw a bunch of glossy powder coat on it and it looks wavy as hell. So that's something I learned in the past. I forgot what project it was. I ran it, I was like, yeah, that looks good, sure. And then it got powder coated and I was like, that looks like, oh, it was the hitch receiver for the K20. Yeah, put powder on it, I was like, ooh, that don't look too good. So we don't make that mistake again. And yeah, we're gonna get this all sanded down and taken care of. Hopefully I'm blocking what's going on back there. Last night, after I got cleaned up, I was kind of like, I want to see what this looks like, and mocked a few things up. Chef's kiss, looking good. It's looking real good. There's a few things that I'm already gonna have to adjust and kind of work around, but for the most part, everything seems like it's gonna work. All right, so I quickly just ran some 180 DA over this, and you can kind of see it shows me where all my high spots are right there, kind of where all the brackets were at one point. So what I'm gonna do is hit it with the DA real quick just to kind of see where that all is, and then hit that again with the flap disc to take it down until when I hit it with the DA, it looks, we don't see those striped lines. These areas are okay. That's what we're gonna sit here with the DA for, is to get all that leveled out, but it'll take us forever with 180 on a DA to get that out. So what we're gonna do is, like I said, hit it with the flapper, get it uniform. That spot, I guess, is where I hit it with the plasma. I had it turned in too much, so it was kind of shooting this way. We'll end up welding that up, grinding it down, same thing. I've got the tubes sanded down as much as I can with what I got in the shop. I'm gonna have to make a run out. I've only got, what, 3 pads of 180 left, and if I'm being honest with you, this isn't even an aggressive enough grit for what I want to accomplish. Next thing on our agenda is to get center line of this axle. What getting center line on this axle is going to do for us is when we go to roll it underneath the frame to get everything lined up, it gives me a point that I can shoot a laser onto the truck, knowing where center line of the truck frame rail is in between the two frame rails, and make sure the two are lined up. Now I've already got center line going left and right. I got to find center line straight down the middle of the truck. So with all of those, that'll help me position this axle exactly where I need it to be. So when I go to mount my bags and everything like that, we know we're all lined up, and I don't end up having to adjust the link and running out of adjustment, and then, yeah. Cool, there we go. All right, that's better. 30.5 fat. .30.5 fat. That's our mark right there. Now you can kind of start to get an idea of what's going on here. So I've already got my pinion angle set. The truck is at ride height. I went ahead and shot the laser on the inside mounting surface of the link forward, and I made sure that line is parallel with the frame all the way back, and we are lined up with that inside line. So in theory, this bar will be parallel with the truck, straight with the axle already set in place of where it's going to be at right height. So I went ahead and put the top of my bag at 0 degrees, so we are nice and level there. And yeah, we're gonna go ahead and get her tacked in. Once I verify like this is what's gonna happen and this is gonna work, I'm gonna go ahead and weld up the passenger side mount, and then we're gonna do the same thing on that side, and then we can start working on our lower link. Once our lower links are on, we'll figure out somehow, because the lift arm is actually in the way, but we'll figure out how to do our mounts forward, and then we can actually build some links. So I don't know if we're gonna get all the way that far today, but that'd be pretty crazy if we did. And that's good enough for now, just to hold her all in place while we go do the other mount.
Brought you some secret sauce. Check, 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 banana. Da, 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 da. So today is a weekend and none of the welding supply places are open, and nobody wants splatter all over your stuff, which is one of the downsides to MIG welding, albeit pretty clean.
Yeah.
At least the setup we have here runs pretty clean. Very little splatter, but it doesn't take much to pit and make something look kind of bad. Would most people, 99% of the population, notice it? Absolutely not, but if you can take an extra step, which supposedly PAM is the same stuff as anti-spatter, or well, will work in replace of, so we're gonna find out.
Yeah, let's see what happens.
And we can fry an egg when we're done.
Yeah.
I was gonna get the butter flavored, but I opted to not. It might be a little sticky.
I'll spray my table because got get a little splatter on there. Let's see what happens, though. I don't know how much you're supposed to use, so.
We probably should have tried a test piece first, because what if it like totally boogers up the weld?
Then, it is what it is.
All right.
We grind it down and start again.
That doesn't look fun to grind down.
No, it ain't.
Smells pretty good.
Yeah. Maybe that's how you get that,
Look at the little beads of stuff just kind of floating across the surface.
Yeah, it works.
All right. It smells just like frying an egg right now.
There you go.
Looking good, buddy.
Slowing it down, kind of tightening them up also gives it a little more of a radius instead of that little bevel. So I like that. I like that.
Poor welding hood's gonna need a new lens here after this one.
Yeah, that's all right. We'll start keeping those on there.
No, looking good.
Oh, I'm getting there, I'm practicing, learning.
Okay. I gotta say, y'all, it looks like the anti-splatter is working, but if nothing more, it smells fantastic in here.
It smells like Waffle House.
Yeah, waking up to some breakfast. No, but that's a breakfast smell. Yeah,
it is nice.
It's probably horrible for us.
I don't even think it is.
With both bag mounts mounted up, Dedic is running into a little something going on here that he's trying to figure out. Now, there is a lot of geometry that goes into a lift kit. That's why most people don't build their own lift kits. So trying to figure all this out, because remember, not only does it have to kind of function like normal suspension, it has to be able to articulate up and down. There's a lot of moving things that you don't want to bind, that have to be right. You also have to align the truck so it doesn't crab walk going down the road because your axle's not square to the frame, and there's a lot of stuff here. So what's going on, Dedic? What kind of issue are we running into?
Ran all the lasers, found my center lines and all that, made sure the axle was squared up underneath the truck. And then what I did was, I know my plate that's going to be my forward link mount is a quarter inch thick. So what I did was I ran a laser 1/4 inch off the frame rail and verified it all the way forward, all the way back, and where that line ended up was gonna be that inside edge of where that bag mount was gonna be. That way, that link would be, parallel with the frame rail and running straight and true as possible. Well, I did that on both sides, but now this bag is about 3/4 of an inch out from that flange surface on the back of that axle compared to that side. Doesn't really make sense, and I've re-verified that the axle is still squared underneath the truck. So why is this bag closer to the wheel than that bag is? It doesn't really make sense because as far as I know, these are the same offset wheels, you know, so.
And the axle tube lengths are the same, nothing weird was done with.
That wouldn't matter because I'm going off of the flange mount on the outside. Because pumpkins aren't always completely centered, so your tubes are gonna be one side's longer than the other.
Right.
But yeah, even based off center line, where the axle is to the inside or that outside edge of where that's gonna mount, you can go from the top if you want. You can see that's, what is that? I can't really see it very well.
And we'll say
21 3/4 fat?
21 3/4 fat.
All right. But then you shoot from this side.
22 1/4. Scrap the project.
Yeah.
We're putting
Too late to go back to stock?
No, we'll put it back to stock.
Okay.
Well, y'all, it wouldn't be a Dedic build if we weren't doing something super sketchy. So apparently this arm on the lift is in the way of where one of his cradles goes. So he wants me to pick the back of the truck up with the forklift, swing those arms out of the way.
Just the one.
Just the one? And then what? And then we...
Well, I mean, they both have to come out of the way at some point, so yeah. Well, I mean,
Did you approve this, dude, as a supervisor? Oh yeah, you're good.
The other option is I take the jack out from the front and use that to lift it up, but then what's holding it from going forward?
Yeah, no, we don't want that. This thing's already horribly balanced with a big old Duramax in the front and 0 weight in the rear.
Boy, next.
At least it's early enough. We can get another truck before SEMA. You know, we could have done this like a foot off the ground. I didn't like how that moved. I didn't like it. I felt the whole forklift shake a little bit. That's the supervisor. Gets a little crazy. Want to hair more up? Best things I ever got was this forklift. I tell you. Thank you to West Air. Just like that. Alright. Yep. And this one's gonna get a decorative plate or no?
Yep.
You sure?
Yep, it's gonna get one too.
I probably wouldn't.
Down here and up there.
You think so?
Yeah, why not?
I'll just do it black so it blends in with the frame because you're not gonna have anything going down the rest of the frame.
I might end up cutting it a little short. Remember, I made all these brackets long just because like I didn't know how it was all gonna work out.
Right.
Because you see how that's right where it starts to kick upward?
Yep.
So I might end up taking about probably an inch off of that just to avoid, I don't want to see like a little corner peeking down.
Right.
Day 3 on this thing. So we are back in the shop. Like I just said, it's day 3 with this whole suspension ordeal thing. We got our brackets up on both sides. Let me get to the other. Right there and right there. Hopefully you can see that because I'm recording this on my phone and I can't see what it's pointing at. So yeah, what I need to do today is I need to get these, especially these, kind of in their final resting spot or wherever they're gonna end up being. Figure out my bolt hole spacing pattern and kind of just get them somewhat like not fully bolted in yet, just because I do got to take them down and do all the finish welding and whatnot. But one of the biggest things is Tuesday I have duty and I want to make sure I bring my computer with me so that I can actually start designing all of those little accent plates or whatever you call them, the whatever they're called. Overlays, there you go. I don't know if I'm gonna do like a 2-piece overlay or a 1-piece overlay. What I mean by that is if I do a 2-piece overlay, I would do the whole bracket in black, and then I would do probably a 1/4 inch off of the edge of like right here. I would do an entire bracket that basically covers this whole plate. And then on top of that, I would do another one about another 1/4 inch in, but that one would actually kind of have the design in it. And what that allows me to do is I can get the bracket powder coated in black, that back plate do in the body color that we've decided, and then that outermost one in whatever, you know, accent color we decide, which we've already decided it. I'm just not gonna let you know what that is yet. And then that way it allows us to kind of tie the whole truck in together instead of picking individual pieces like, okay, I want this one to be one color. Okay, I want that one to be one color. Every piece can kind of have all three incorporated into one. And now that I'm talking about it, I think that's what I'm gonna do just because I like that idea better. It's gonna, you know, it's the same amount of work whether or not I do one or two, but doing two just kind of, you know, takes it one more step above that, like, oh, we have, you know, accent plates or overlays. Oh, now we have double overlays. It's gonna look so much better and tie everything in. But for now, like I said, we gotta get these things mounted in. I'm just gonna keep rambling on, so let's just go ahead and get this camera set up and let's do that. All right, we got 2 bolts in on that side. Time to drill this side, do the same exact thing. Alrighty then, it is the important time. Time to start measuring and marking for links. So I think I'm just gonna go ahead and chop these in half just to make it a little bit easier to work with. 128, which is, ooh, that's 64. Huh. Damn, we almost got 2 links out of 1 cut. It would be close, like very, very close. But oh, much better, much better. Oh, you're killing me. Oh, also, in case any of you were wondering, like, Mr. Daddy, you got a one of them Hercules bandsaws. Well, I've still got it in the stand. And honestly, I don't like taking it in and out of it. We have this one kind of just floating around, so I'm gonna use this one. Just like that. Vada voom, vada ving. That's our top link right there. Trying to get as good of a view for you guys right there. But now obviously I didn't make up the bottom link, just because I still got to make sure my axle is centered and all that. I just want to make sure it's right. I don't want to have to redo this stuff. So I'm probably going to end up doing that before I figure out my bottom links. But the top links are fine. I know those are all right. The truck is currently sitting at what I believe, no, this is all the way aired out down. It's kind of hard to see without the bed there, but that is where all the way down is going to be. It's about where my truck was at the ride height with the lift setup that it has now, is what completely aired out would look like. So the bags I have for the rear, I don't think they'll ever see like full bag height just because it is an insane height. With the front not getting air ride and it getting coil over, you know, that's going to be a fixed spot, so that'll just stay where it's at. And then this will obviously be able to pivot down, or, you know, go up and down and squat, or, you know, what is it, the lean or whatever. Yeah, but let me kind of give you an idea. So that right there would be max. The bag fully inflated all the way up. We're talking, yeah, it's huge. It's something like 11 or 12 inches of total bag height. That bag will actually extend up and be still attached to that top plate. I just kind of have it there mocked just to kind of get an idea because I wanted it to collapse to see where it would be. because those bags do have those internal bumps built into them, so you are able to completely air out, and you're not going to worry about like really pinching or messing up the bag internally. It'll just rest on that bump stop inside. I believe that is going to wrap up this video. I still have a lot more to do. I've got a track bar I got to build. I've already got the bracket on the frame side. I've got the tubing and the heims for the actual joints, but I do not have a mount on the axle side of it yet. There was just too much geometry and I didn't quite know what I wanted to do yet, so I was just going to decide to build it kind of on the fly. And we're slowly getting to that. Like I said, we have the brackets up forward, just bolted in with 2 bolts. I don't believe I'm gonna be able to get the rest of the hardware in there until the cab comes off. There's just not enough room, and I wanna make sure those are in the right spot, lined up, because when I go to make my layovers, I wanna make sure the bolts are exactly where they need to be, because when I do my layover cutout, I wanna make sure it looks right and it's gonna look clean. But yeah, there's a lot more work still here to be done. I just kind of wanted to see what the links would look like. I didn't know if they were gonna look too small under there or too big, but they look beefy, and I honestly really like that look. I think this truck's gonna look killer. Just going down the road, it's gonna look planted, it's gonna feel planted, it's gonna be a solid truck. And that was kind of the whole point behind it. I wanna, load this thing up, air up, and not worry about it. And I think that's what we're gonna get out of this. Next video should be me kind of actually finishing this lift. I think actually you'll actually see me like airing it up and airing it down. Now I gotta get with Alex over at Hoppo's and actually figure out what compressors I'm gonna have. Obviously we're gonna be running a tank from him. They are just absolutely the best tanks out on the market, and they're actually very affordable for what you get, extremely affordable. So obviously I'm gonna be running one of those. I think I'm gonna go ahead and just rig some things up in the back here. I've got an air compressor here that I'm probably just gonna fill a tank and run a line to, and then just wire up some solenoids just so we can see this thing air up, air down, and kind of get an idea of what it's gonna look like. We're gonna throw the bed back on it because I think I marked where the center of the wheel wells were right, and I've been building off that. So if I was wrong, yeah, we're gonna be adjusting some things. But with that, we're gonna wrap this video up. Hopefully Ryan's smart enough and can like cut his audio over this and make it sound like I just said all that stuff. But with that being said, make sure you subscribe, follow, leave a like, all that stuff. I don't know what, but if you want anything in this life, you got to be willing to work for it. You're the best. I'm out. Roll the outro. Hopefully I didn't screw that up. See you guys later.
Damn. Yeah.